Well, U.S. corn farmers are urging Congress to stop what they say could be a looming catastrophe. It all stems from a new proposal in Mexico.
The United States exported 2.5 billion bushel of corn last year.
Mexico's President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador said he would not allow GMO corn to be imported into the countries.
Mexico just shook the global corn market, and no one saw it coming. The Mexican government has officially banned genetically modified GM corn for human consumption, and the ripple effects are massive. Just a short while ago, the U.S. was exporting nearly $5 billion worth of GM corn to Mexico. Now, entire shipments are being turned back at the border. While American farmers are left asking, what just happened? Canada is seizing the moment. Trains loaded with corn from Manitoba, Ontario, and Saskatchewan are rolling toward ports once dominated by U.S. exports. Turns out, Canada wasn't waiting. They were preparing. Is it about tariffs? Or is there a deeper shift underway? Let's break it down in today's video. Note, this video is an independent analysis based on public sources. It does not represent any organization or political stance. We encourage you to think critically and share your thoughts in the comments. For over 30 years, the U.S. Mexico corn trade was rock solid. Corn from the American Midwest flowed steadily south, propping up jobs and generating billions. In 2024 alone, the U.S. exported 25 million metric tons of corn to Mexico, worth $5.5 billion. That single trade supported more than 130,000 American jobs across farming, processing, and transportation. Corn wasn't just a product. It was a symbol of a deep economic link. But that bond is now cracking. Mexican buyers are suddenly pulling back. Even corn that meets USMCA trade rules is facing delays, unpredictability, and growing distrust. Exemptions today could vanish tomorrow. Now Mexico is turning inward, ramping up local production and exploring new partners. Canadian corn may cost a bit more, but importers see it as cleaner, safer, and more stable. And the numbers back it up. As of August 2025, U.S. corn was selling for $4.50 per bushel, while Canadian corn was going for $4.70. And in Ontario, prices have even climbed past $6.37. That's a nearly $2 difference. If Mexico keeps buying at those higher rates, it could mean importing 2 million tons less than before, equal to over 80 million bags of animal feed, or enough to feed 10 million cattle for 3 months. That's no small gap. But here's the twist. Importers don't seem to mind. In today's market, cheap isn't everything. Buyers want reliability, sustainability, and corn that won't get held up in legal or environmental red tape. America's once dominant role in the global corn game, now up for grabs. Forget just cheap prices. Today's consumers care about how their food is made. They're choosing ethics over economics, demanding transparency, sustainability, and long-term reliability. And right now, Canada is quietly leading that revolution. In provinces like Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario, a powerful system called Prairie Trace is transforming agriculture. It's not just a database. It's a blockchain-powered network that tracks every step of a corn shipment's journey. From seed type and fertilizer to irrigation levels, harvest methods, and exact transport routes, buyers can scan a code and see it all. But Canada didn't stop at transparency. Environmental practices are now a core priority. Many farms have shifted to less mechanized methods, use renewable energy, and rely more on rail than trucks, slashing carbon emissions. One train from Manitoba to Vancouver now makes the trip in under 72 hours, 20% faster than just 2 years ago. Compare that to U.S. southern ports, where corn can sit 10 to 15 days just for inspection, causing delays, spoilage, and rising costs. As global buyers shift from focusing on price to caring about environmental footprint, Canada looks ready, and America is falling behind. Once just a side player, Canada is now becoming a blueprint for the future of global agriculture. So here's the big question. Is Canada becoming the new leader in corn exports? In early 2025, the U.S. imposed new tariffs on cargo ships linked to a major Asian country. Some called it a move for independence. But the truth? Many ships that export U.S. corn are tied to that same country. Within weeks, shipping costs jumped 25%, wiping out profits and causing contracts to collapse. Container rates to Asia, especially Japan and South Korea, soared to $5,000 per unit, almost double 2024 prices. Exporters in states like Illinois, Iowa, and Nebraska suddenly couldn't move their corn. Rail lines to key ports like New Orleans and Houston became bottlenecks. Fewer vessels were leaving. The corn wasn't the issue, it was the system. Meanwhile, Canada and Brazil, with smoother logistics, started shipping to markets once dominated by the U.S. It wasn't about who grows better corn. It was about who can deliver it faster, cheaper, and cleaner. Then came more pressure. In March 2025, the U.S. Federal Grain Inspection Service introduced tighter limits on chemical residues and increased inspection fees by 40%. That hit small farmers hardest. Now, most corn has to wait at the port. If one batch fails inspection, the entire shipment could be rejected or destroyed. For smaller exporters, it's a death blow. At southern U.S. ports, over 180 corn vessels were stuck during March and April. Empty containers ran short. Inspections backed up. Spring rains soaked tons of corn left without proper storage. With each week of delay, value dropped by up to 27 cents per bushel. Total losses could hit hundreds of millions in one season. Contracts are being canceled. Penalties are mounting. And the damage is no longer theoretical. It's real. And it's happening now. This isn't about farmers failing to grow quality crops. It's about a system that's failing to get them to market. Tariffs, red tape, outdated ports, it's all adding up. And here's the bottom line. While the U.S. struggles to fix broken logistics and policy, the world is moving on. Buyers now demand traceability, environmental responsibility, and consistent delivery. Canada heard the call and answered. The question is, will America catch up before it's too late? They said it was just corn, but it's turning into a global power play. From the windswept fields of Saskatchewan to bustling ports in Asia, a single kernel now symbolizes something far greater. Canada's silent rise as an agricultural powerhouse. This isn't just about logistics. It's a national strategy unfolding in real time. Canada's rail lines have been fine-tuned for speed and reliability, connecting corn-producing provinces like Manitoba and Saskatchewan to key export ports like Vancouver and Prince Rupert. What's remarkable is the tight coordination between public and private sectors, making efficient delivery, low emissions, and stability the new standard, not just bonuses. Compare that to the U.S., where Canadian cargo ships, returning from Asia, are often loaded with American corn, not because of demand, but because American exporters lack outbound orders. It's a quiet signal. The global trust that once belonged to the U.S. may now be shifting northward. Canada is also moving ahead in trade policy. A March 2025 agreement with South Korea now allows certified Canadian organic corn to skip reinspection, slashing time, costs, and headaches. Meanwhile, U.S. exporters still face these delays. Canadian businesses, even small ones, enjoy strong safety nets from organizations like Export Development Canada, covering risks, lowering emissions, and attracting ESG-focused buyers. So what is Canada exporting? Not just corn, but trust, traceability, sustainability, and reliability. That's what today's global buyers want. And Canada is delivering it on time every time. Now contrast this with what's happening in America. In February 2025, Mexico, once the largest buyer of U.S. corn, banned GMO corn for human consumption. Almost overnight, 90% of American corn became unwelcome. This sparked a global shift. Nations from Europe to Asia began inserting non-GMO clauses in contracts, and major food corporations followed suit. The message is clear. The world wants something different, and the U.S. is no longer the automatic answer. What once gave the U.S. dominance, GMO crops, chemical pesticides, massive yields, is now becoming its liability. Global buyers are demanding full traceability. Not just where corn comes from, but what seed was used, how it was grown, and how clean it is. Even transportation emissions now matter. This isn't just about feeding people anymore. It's about feeding them with accountability. The results are already showing. U.S. corn prices have collapsed to just $345 per bushel, the lowest in a decade. Costs are up. Demand is down. Farmers in Iowa say they're planting just to lose less money. Many are leaving fields unharvested, selling off equipment, or taking on side jobs just to survive. Even the system meant to support them is breaking. Silos are overflowing. Corn is being stored in plastic bags or rented warehouses at extra cost. Food banks are warning of shortages, while farmers themselves are turning to assistance. The ethanol industry, once a lifeline for surplus corn, is stalling. 25 plants have shut down. Thousands are jobless. Barges on the Mississippi are running light due to low water levels, raising shipping costs and delivery delays. It's not just a crisis, it's a collapse. So here's the hard truth. While Canada rises through innovation, cooperation, and vision, the U.S. agricultural system is stuck in a model the world is moving away from. The biggest shift isn't price. It's perception. Today's buyers are willing to pay more, not for more corn, but for more certainty, for systems they can trust, for partners who can deliver sustainability, transparency, and resilience. The very things Canada has quietly built, and the U.S. is now scrambling to catch up with. This may be the moment North American agriculture reaches a turning point, not just in competition, but in philosophy. Because in the new era of food, volume is no longer king. Trust is. This was just the beginning. Hit that subscribe button and buckle up. Digital Garage has so much more in store.